Hey guys, welcome to another ramble. I hope you're doing well and I hope you are taking the time to be present in every moment. And if not every moment, at least taking some time to be present. I think it's good for your nervous system, for your peace of mind, and your overall well being. Today, I was going to talk about a couple of things. I was thinking about, I want to say, addiction. I think you guys can relate to how there are a lot of things in this world, in our lives, that can be highly addicting. Some are more, I want to say, apparent, and others are not. you know, for instance, I am addicted to puffing on this contraption. And I'd like to trick myself into believing that it helps me with remembering to breathe properly. Taking deep inhales and exhales. Yeah, well, we all have our vices, so let's not judge. Some people have more extreme addictions, some people have tiny addictions, but nonetheless, it's an addiction, right? Um, some people like shop, retail therapy. Is that what they call it when you feel like triggered emotionally, and in order to self-soothe, it's like you will just mindlessly buy things you don't really need, but it feels good in the moment to get that hit to take you away from whatever discomfort or dis-ease you're currently experiencing. That's what it is, right? Isn't that what an addiction is? It's a distraction, and I want to say it compels you to consume something in order to kind of like calm yourself down in that moment, or to like give you like a chemical hit to like kind of like make you feel slightly better temporarily. um I was thinking like I want to say the most, is it prevalent? Is it I don't know, it's pretty destructive though. Destructive addiction to validation. I need validation, I need attention, because I'm not happy with myself, you know. I don't like myself. I'm depressed. I don't like how my life is going. I don't like the position I'm in. My life doesn't align with what I had visioned. My life doesn't align with my expectations of how it should be or could be, you know. Um, I don't have the job I want. I don't have, the relationship I want. I don't have the body I want. You see how, like, we're so dissatisfied? We're so dissatisfied. Who creates this dissatisfaction, though? Who creates the dissatisfaction? I always like to start with a question, because that is the gateway towards receiving an answer. Now, if we were to be completely honest with ourselves, which 90% of the people aren't, let's face it, it's easier. It's easier to blame someone else for your pain, for your discomfort, for your dis-ease. But if you were to be really honest, radically honest with yourself and others, the only person that is coming from is you. It took me years to realize this. It took me possibly lifetimes to realize this. And when you're living in such a way where, I don't know, you've generated dissatisfaction within yourself based on the way you perceive everything, obviously, that doesn't feel good. But knowing that you are the source of dissatisfaction, it is quite, I want to say, relieving to know that you can also be your own remedy, you know? Anyways, let's go back to validation though. Why do we seek validation? Why do people need validation? I think I already answered that question previously. They're just dissatisfied with themselves. They're dissatisfied with their life. They're dissatisfied with their position. They're dissatisfied with the relationships that they have. They're dissatisfied because they have a lot of discord, and so it's just like, but you're creating it because you're viewing life through that lens. So I guess if you have garnered enough self-awareness to realize that you are the creator of your distress and you have created a lens that you are viewing life through, then you will be aware enough to know that, oh, I don't really want to look at life through that lens anymore. Let's just put that lens aside and look at things like this. Like, oh, okay, I create my dissatisfaction, but I can also create my own peace and create my own happiness. And I can start loving everything and releasing things that don't really make me feel good, And I've noted that people who seek validation, which is an addiction, they need something to kind of like balance out the imbalance that they have created within themselves. And so, what better way to get like a temporary fix but to seek validation, Have you noted that like that's all people want? And they don't even need it in the form of a long-term thing. It's just give me a fix. Just give me a hit in that moment. And then I'm on to the next thing. What is the next thing that can validate me? What is the next thing that can validate my existence in this world? Because I can't do it myself, or that's what they say. And that's why like girls are like showing off their bodies and like guys are like, I don't know, if you look at media, I've ugh, people are just doing the most ridiculous things just to get the validation. Ridiculous. Down to even creating harm for themselves and others, creating chaos and joking about it. It's just like anything for attention. I just need your attention. Just look at me. Look at me. Validate me, please. I need it because I am so like, I don't know, feeling yucky inside that I need somebody to make me feel good outside. I need someone to validate my existence, validate me and my qualities. You'll be a slave for the rest of your life if you live that life. I'm going to be completely honest. You're going to be a fucking slave. Do you want to be a slave? Do you want to be bound? Or do you want to be free? That's the question, If you want to be free, then you take the necessary steps to realize that you have an addiction and you need to be validated. And then you realize, you know what? I don't need the validation because I validate myself. I create the life that I want to live. I view life through the lens I want to see it through, And no one else can determine this but me, Yeah, I think it's a tough battle and a tough realization to come to. And not many people have the courage and strength and will to break down, the lies they've been telling themselves, you know, the addictions that they have. It's, I mean, it's kind of like anything, you know, like a druggie, a drug addict. I'm not trying to say that that's a bad thing, because we do all have our vices. We all have our choice of drug that we use to soothe ourselves, right? So, like any addiction, which is basically some type of drug, you know, to kind of like numb yourself or like distract yourself temporarily to ease the pain, um, it's hard to break, you know? It requires radical honesty, radical acceptance, courage, determination, the will, and the drive to just break free, to unlock yourself, to step out of the prison you have created for yourself. And this is life, guys. You know? I think for us, personally, we were seeking validation through people pleasing. We really wanted someone to validate us, to finally make us feel like we were, you know, worthwhile. You know, we had value. We added value to someone's life, you know? We really needed that validation. But once you realize that you can never get that validation that I want to, no, you can get the validation temporarily, but if you want something that's everlasting, it comes from you, you know? And then when you validate yourself, when you no longer need the approval of others, oh my goodness, you have stepped into a whole new, I want to say, a whole new level of authenticity. You don't need validation from others because you validate yourself. You know, you don't need to prove anything to others because you know your worth, you know your value, you know? Yeah, and I'm not saying that in an arrogant way, because I feel like if you truly knew your value and your worth and you didn't need validation, you wouldn't need to be arrogant about it, you know? You wouldn't need to try to control anything. You wouldn't need, there'd be no one to please, you know, but yourself, because you are that ultimate source, you know? Everything is conceived from you. Anyways, I have a couple of other topics I want to talk about, but I don't want to keep this video too long, so I'm probably going to end it and I'm going to start anew. And isn't that interesting how like endings are simply beginnings? Ending something is the beginning of a whole new something else. Isn't that exciting? And that's why it's just like when you're having a hard time letting go of something, just remember that. You know, you need to let go in order to receive. An ending is merely a new beginning, you know? Anyways, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you. If you have learned something from this video, that is great. If you haven't, that's great too. Tomato, tomato. Blessings to one and all. Amen.